Welcome back. I'm Jill with thecarefreekitchen.com, and today I'm going to be sharing with you one of my favorite fall and winter soup recipes. This is my vegetable beef soup. Now, this soup is filled with ground beef, mixed vegetables, potatoes, and all kinds of delicious ingredients. It's hearty. It only takes a few minutes to make, and you'll have it on the table in no time. Okay, first of all, here are the ingredients that you're going to need to get started. First of all, I have my hamburger. This is just ground beef, and I use a 1585 fat content. The 15 is the fat there. I also have one medium onion, and I'm just using a yellow onion, but a white onion would work great. I have some sea salt, and then some just ground pepper and some garlic powder. This is just plain garlic powder. And then I have some bay leaves and some potatoes, and I just have russet potatoes. The recipe calls for 4 medium russet potatoes, but I'm going to be using 5. And then I have celery. You could use celery hearts here too. And then for my mixed vegetables, I'm using a bag that is 12 ounces of frozen vegetables, and I like these ones here. It has like the green beans in it, really yummy. And then some tomato paste, and this just gives it like the tomatoey brothy flavor. I'm going to be using about 4 to 5 cups of beef broth. 4 to 5 cups should get you about there. I like to have about 6 on hand when I'm making this recipe. So the first thing I'm going to do is prepare my onion. The way that I like to prepare the onions is to cut it in half, and then I cut off both sides, peel off the outer layer until it's all the fleshy part of the onion, and then I'm just going to dice it really thinly. And I like to cook my onion the longest, just cut them thinly one way and then do it like a quarter turn and then cut them the other way, and that just makes like a really nice little dice on it. And the onion just adds so much flavor to this. So I'm going to turn my stove on. This is just about a medium heat, will be fine. And put my Dutch oven on with a little bit of oil, and any kind of cooking oil will work. I usually use an avocado oil. And then I will add my onions, and I'm just going to saute these until they are like translucent, or maybe like a little bit caramely. So while that is cooking, I can just stir it occasionally, and I'm going to prepare my celery. So for the celery, I'm going to actually use the inside of the celery. It is the best for soups. It makes just like a really yummy, rich flavor, really lightness to a soup. And I'm just going to wash my celery and then slice it thinly down the middle and then dice it. And you only need about 1 cup. In fact, I like to just cut up celery hearts, if I'm making a relish plate or something, and then put that in the freezer, and then I can easily just grab it out of the freezer and dump it right into any one of my soup recipes. I also just like to skin the potatoes. You can do this with a knife or a potato peeler. You can also use Yukon Gold potatoes here, or even red potatoes. Whatever you have on hand is great. And then I will wash the potatoes and dice them into little like 1/2 inch pieces. That's big enough for this recipe. And then I will also add those to my pot. Okay, so as you can see, my onions are almost cooked. I'm going to add my ground beef, and then I will add my celery and my garlic powder and some salt and pepper, and I'm just going to use a spoon and break this up so that it will all cook nice and evenly. And on the ground beef, remember, you don't have to cook it until it is completely no pink. You can still have a little bit of pink there, because you're going to cook your soup for another 20 minutes or so. So don't overcook your meat here. Just get it till it's like mostly brown, and then we're going to add our potatoes and of course our frozen vegetables, and the frozen ones work so good. You could also use fresh ones if you have those on hand. But then we're going to add our beef broth, and you want the beef broth to come up like a little bit above the vegetables. So I'm actually going to add just a little bit more here. And then also my tomato paste, which gives it like this nice tomatoey, like brothy. We're just gonna let this simmer and cook it until the vegetables and especially the potatoes are fork tender. And you will know when it's fork tender. You can just lift up like a spoonful of that soup, and then if you put a fork in it and it like kind of crumbles, then your soup is ready. But if you put a fork in your potatoes and you can like lift the potato up off of the spoon, then it's not quite ready. So that is like the fork tender test. And then when you are ready to serve your soup, just take out the bay leaves and you're ready to go. Okay, so here is my vegetable beef soup. I mean, Those chunks of potatoes are tender. The ground beef is just filled with flavor. It's made with beef broth, so every single bite of this is so delicious and so yummy. I like to serve this with just like a little bit of like crusty bread, and take a look at that. It's like tomatoey and fresh from the corn and the celery, and it is just so, so delicious. Now for a taste test. I mean, take a look at this brothy, yummy, delicious soup. It is like warm and cozy and perfect for this time of year. I mean, is there anything better than like some crusty baguette to serve it with? It's so amazing. Okay, here we go. It is just a little bit hot still. The seasoning is perfect. It has a really light tomato base with a strong beef flavor, and then all of those vegetables. I mean, it is such a delicious vegetable soup recipe. And I love it because it only takes 30 to 40 minutes to make. So it is on our dinner rotation this time of year, every year. Take a look at that. So delicious. Well, I hope you enjoyed this episode at the Carefree Kitchen. This is still a little bit hot. Be sure to like, subscribe, and follow me here, and I will show you all kinds of fun and easy recipes that your family will love. And of course, if you're making anything, share it, and I would love to see what you're making from the Carefree Kitchen. Okay, I mean, this is like the best part right here, right? Like some bread that's like a little bit crusty. Oh, let it sit right there for a minute. Just like, soak up all those juices. I mean, it is so good. Buttery, tomatoey, beefy. So good.